Hi, Barbara. All right. Well, it is 6:30 on Tuesday, which means it's time for Tiger Stamp Club Live, where we make great cards. And I have another great one for you tonight. I know I always say it. Hi, Jen. Hi, Linda. Glad you guys are jumping on. Yes, so let me just get right into the news as other people may be joining us. News. Firstly, we have a joining special going on right now. It's going gangbusters. And there are two options to get your starter kit. So normally our starter kit costs $99 and you get to select $125 worth of items from our catalog. That's always a great deal. But until Friday, can you believe that Friday is the last day of October? This has been going on all through the month of October, but Friday is your very, very last chance to do this. So if you wanted to spend $99, you could select, instead of $125 worth of items, $189 worth of items. But listen to this. Here, if you wanted to spend $35, you could select $125 worth of items. Plus, your starter kit always comes with free shipping, and they throw in a paper pumpkin kit on top of that. So it's a really, really great deal. And there's no other obligation after that. You don't have to remain active. No one's going to call you up and say, "Hey, are you doing anything?" No. You could just, join for this great deal, and then when your activity runs out, it runs out. No big deal. So if you want to get in on that, remember the last day is this Friday, Halloween. So don't miss out. If you're going to spend $35, you might as well get $125 worth of items. That is the best deal ever. All right. So again, we do have this 12 Days of Christmas Advent calendar going on. It is $99, and then you get about $120 worth of items. And it also comes with with a corresponding stamp set. And it's got dies in it. If you saw my reveal last time, it's got dies, it's got embellishments, it's got DSP, and it's just a lot of fun. Also, if you join for the starter kit, picking one of those specials that I just talked about, then your name is going to go into a drawing to win one of these 12 Days of Christmas kits from me. So there's that. And then they just announced the new craft class that's going to happen in the month of November. It's going to happen November 20th. And it's going to be based on the Brush with Beauty suite of items, which, unless you're a demonstrator, you probably haven't looked at it because it doesn't become available until November 4th. So, but I did take their very first class because I was interested to see how well I would like it. And I thought it was a great class. Now, in the past, some of the projects that Stampin' Up! Has put on in kind of similar events were pretty simple, and so I was, cautious about doing it. But these projects were great. In fact, I'm going to show you my set of projects from that class. So, there's my card for today. Got a sneak peek on that. So, these were all based on the Traditions of Christmas suite of items. And we made 3 cards. and then one home decor item. Let's see if I can get them all in here. And so this is a home decor item here. And the class lasted about 2.5 hours, and it went at a really nice, easy to keep up speed, although I did get behind on this. I kept up with the cards, but when we did this home decor item, I did get a little bit behind, but I caught up and was able to complete it no problem. And so this was the very first card we did. And while it looks pretty simple, it did do some things that, are not immediately obvious. So like these leaves in the background are stenciled on. We created our own stencil from this die that cuts these leaves, and then we stenciled that on. This is a die cut right here, this little one here that we cut in half and snuck behind our panel, which just adds, another layer of interest to the card. We did some splattering with some ink and some Wink of Stella on that panel. And it's also monochromatic. Well, it's not monochromatic. It's two colors. But it's white, a lot of white on this card. And I thought that was really cool. I liked it. And then this one, we did some stamping in the background to create our own design using some of the stamps that come in the set. And then this focal point is die cut from DSP. And then we used a blending brush. Wait, is that die cut from DSP? No, it's not. We stamped it. I'm sorry. We stamped this one. And then we used a blending brush to kind of add color. And it picks up the ink from where you stamped, the blending brush does, and you can kind of lightly and delicately fill this in. So that's what happened there. And then the dies were pretty interesting because this label die, this Christmas label die in the background, this green one, it has slots in it that you can thread ribbon or DSP through, and I didn't know that. And so I thought that was pretty interesting as well. And then we've got the gold die cut there. So that was another cool card. And then the third card is actually not a card. It is a photo holder. So when you open it up here, you've got a place to slip in a photo if you want to send a photo, in the mail to somebody. And again, this is a DSP that's been cut to use here. And then this one is one DSP that's been cut in half, and we used half of it on this side and half of it on that side to create this interesting, it makes this focal element much bigger. And then this card is made from a long piece of DSP itself. And so then you get to see both sides of the DSP. Anyway, a very, very good card in that class. And then again, this home decor piece where we pieced together this, what is this called? A wreath, using all these different pieces of leaves and gold foil die cuts. And, even falling a little bit behind, I'm very pleased at how this turned out. So I took the class just to see if I could recommend the class, to you guys. And so the one that's happening in November, you'll be able to sign up for beginning November 4th. And then you can, it will give you a list of things that you need for the class, so you'll be ready. And you do all your die cutting beforehand. And it was a lot of fun. It was you join this Facebook group, and there's all people from all over the world doing it at the same time. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I am going to sign up for the second one. So let's take a look at this card that we are going to make today. And I bought this stamp set because I always like to buy, the I guess religious themed one for Christmas, because I like my cards to have that theme to them. And so this is the one that came out this year. And I've been waiting and waiting for a really nice card to use. I've seen several that are good, but then when I saw this one, I was like, okay, that's the one that I want to do for my Christmas cards. So I'm going to do several of these for my Christmas cards. And then someone in class this weekend said, you should do that for Tuesday. So I thought, okay, I can do it for Tuesday as well. And so what I think sends it up and above is that it is fun shaped. And then I think that's what adds the wow to it. Plus, I have fussy cut out this, the Mary and Joseph and Jesus here, and this little sheep to just add some dimension to an otherwise, I would say, simple stamp. But we've stepped it up with fussy cutting it, and then making it into this fun shaped card that fits into a regular size envelope. So I'm going to show you how to make this card base, and then we'll put together this fun card. Let's talk about what we're using tonight. So the stamp set is called A Child is Born, and it's a mixture of sentiments and images. For unto us a child is born. Oh, come, let us adore him. When they saw the star, they rejoiced. Oh, holy night. And then all is calm, all is bright. And had a hard time picking which sentiment I wanted on the inside of my card. And so I chose for unto us a child is born. But any of these would work on the inside. Yep. And so to make the card base, we are using the Everyday Arches dies, which are layering dies. And it just makes it so simple and quick to put together a card like this. And then we have a DSP from the, what's that called? Hold on. It is called Country Woods. So this DSP is from a sheet in the DSP stack that is Country Woods. And I chose this one because it has the black in it, which is going to coordinate with the black cardstock of our card base. All right. So, and then for our bling, we only have one little bling. We're going to surprisingly use the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. These lighter colored gems in here are, I guess, Pretty in Pink, but they allow the coloring of the star to show through, and it just adds a little extra something, as you will see. So for our card base, you're going to need two of the largest Everyday Arches, this very largest one. You're going to need two of those to create our card base. And then you're going to need two in the next size down. So we're only using the largest and the next to the largest dies here in white. And then you need one of that same size in the DSP. The only other piece to this simple card is our connector piece that allows us to turn our card base into one that opens up. And it is just a piece of basic black that is 2 by 3, and it's scored at 1 inch, just straight down the middle on the short side. All right. And that's what we're going to use to connect our card bases together. All right. So not a lot involved in this card, but still it's going to be a wow when they open it up. I think just the shape of it makes it a wow. So let me pause here for a second just to see who all is here so far. Barbara and Jen and Linda, I said hi already. Hi, Nancy. Thanks for sharing. Thanks, Jen, for sharing. Hi, Gloria. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Susan. Hi, Anita. Jane. Oh, man, lots of people on here tonight. All right. So let's begin. I'm going to begin by joining our card base pieces together. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to fold this joining piece and give it a good score. I'm going to burnish it on both sides here. And let's see if I can get my glue to work. Yay. Put some glue on here. Now I want the folded side to be on the inside here, and I'm just going to adhere it flush at the bottom and at the side of one of these panels of basic black that I've die cut with the Everyday Arch. All right. There we go. So I have just die cut that there. And now I am going to adhere this other side. I love it when a fun fold is super simple and easy to put together and super simple and easy to understand how to put it together. All right, now I'm just going to, so I can make sure that it's lined up good. Stand it up so that the bottom is even. Push it so that the top is even. And then see how that works on the inside. So there we go. We've got that little 2x3 piece adhered to both sides of the panels of our card base. Pretty simple to create a fun, interesting looking card base. All right. Now, before we adhere any panels to the card base, I am going to do some stamping. And I'm actually going to stamp the inside first. And you guys know me, I hardly ever stamp the inside. Oops, I'm shaking it. I can see my, my phone shaking. So I'm going to try and ink this up without shaking so much. And then on the inside, I'm just going to stamp this. There we go. For unto us a child is born. Now I'm ready to adhere this to the inside. I could add more, but I'm not going to. I could though. I just want you to know I could. I'm not going to. All right, here we go. So we're going to glue this to the inside, and one of the things I like about this is that it covers up that little mechanism there so it doesn't look like, you know, it's put together like that. Let me see if I can scoot this up over you can see. I'm just going to try and get this on nice and straight. Oh, and I should mention that I got this idea, I'm casing as I always do, from an American demonstrator this time, Tammy White. I saw this come across and I was like, okay, that's the card I want to make with my A Child is Born set. She also, on her website, she has a website called Stamping with Tammy. She's got another idea of a standard size card, you know, rectangular card that you could also do using this set. It's very similar, but it's on a square, you know, a rectangular card. But I don't think she put this DSP panel on the inside. But I'm going to, just to, you know, like I said, cover up that mechanism so it's not glaringly obvious how this card is put together. And then again, this DSP, it has that black in there, which I really like because it mirrors the color of the card base. So there is the inside of our card. And now I'm going to set that aside and let's work on the front, the fun part. So we are going to need to stamp a Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. So I've got that mounted. And I've got some basic white cardstock, and I'm shaky yarn. I should have thought of that. Trying to get this all inked up nicely. So if you're creating this card, you want to stamp this image once. Thank you for sharing, Kelly. I know this nativity set, I like it too, Jane. All right, let's see if I did a good job. Yes, all very good. And now the only other thing that I need to stamp right now is my little lamb. Let me see if I can get this nice and inked up. I should have probably re-inked this. So I need this little lamb. Very good. Now, we are going to fussy cut these two pieces out. Yes, Jen Bueller, fussy cut. I said fussy cut. So, through the magic of television, I already have my pieces stamped and cut out, and here they are. So we're going to do that, and we're going to need to color those, but let's finish stamping. The other thing that we need to stamp, and we're going to stamp that directly on to our panel, and make sure I've got my panel right side up, are the stars in the sky. I'm going to grab, give me a second, I'm going to grab another memento and see if it inks up a little bit better. I mean, it's okay, but let's see if there's a little more ink. I think there's a little more ink on this one. I won't have to do as much shaky. And so what I've done, there were two different star stamps in the set, and I've just paired them together on my block so I don't have to stamp more than once. And I'm going to put this pretty close to the top up here, but not all the way. I always get nervous when I'm stamping on camera. There we go. That's pretty good. All right. Let's see here. I need a yellow. And so I'm going to grab the first yellow that I see, which is my Dark Daffodil Delight. And I think the brush end is pretty spent, but my bullet tip is still okay. And I'm going to quickly just fill in each one of these little stars with some yellow. And where there's just barely a star there, I'm just dotting it, which makes this a quick little way to color. There we go. Done with that. And now I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella and just very quickly add a little bit of glitz. And it's not going to be a whole lot, but it's there. You know what I'm saying? Not a whole lot, but it's there. And I think in the right light, it might twinkle as they as they pull it out of the envelope. All right. So there are the stars. Let's concentrate on our focal images. And let's see. Did I grab? What is this? Bronze. This is all right. I'm going to do hair first, and I think I'm picking a different color. I just need something to test this out on real quick. Because I thought on my card the hair was a little light. Okay, so here's my card. And it doesn't look so light here, but when I photographed it, it was a little light. And I thought, well, yeah, probably have darker hair. They probably have black hair. And maybe I'll do a combination, because this is part of the skin tones, what used to be the skin tones, and now I'm sorry, can barely talk and color at the same time. I'm just going to dot in some darker things, and then maybe I'll use a lighter color to blend. I just didn't like it so light. This is bronze. Do I really want bronze, or do I want... I think I'm going to go with this one. So I didn't really know what colors to use when I made my example. And so I just grabbed all the skin tone ones and put them in a box. That's what you hear rattling around over here. And I didn't want to do black hair because, you know, I don't think that would show up very well. It just might look too solid. I think I like this a little bit better. It's a little bit darker than what I did before. Of course, you could color whatever color you wish. All right, there's that. Let's do faces. Again, I know the complexion is probably darker than what I'm going to do, but I'm just afraid of, it being a blob, because I'm not sure. Facial tones are so hard to get right, so that's why I'm erring on the side of caution here. And I even saw one card that was really good that they had drawn little faces on these people, on Mary and Joseph and Jesus. But I'm not that good, and I just didn't want to mess it up. All right, that's good. Let's see, I'm gonna, for the swaddling clothes, this is cloud cover, dark cloud cover. I'm gonna put some of this on here, and then I'm gonna add some darker color, just so that there's a little variation in color. Maybe this one I'll use bronze, I don't know. I'm just playing it by ear, so like if you were coloring this in, you could, oh, that was not a good one. You could do it however you see fit. I just like having it in two different colors. It just gives it a little bit of interest. And you can see that I just didn't even really color. I just stroked, add some strokes there. All right, now I've got the light and the dark of cloud cover, and we're gonna do Joseph's robe first. And so down the middle here, I'm gonna do dark. Give me a second. Let's see if I can find the... Because I didn't get his neck right here. Oh, that should have been, oh well, we'll pretend that's his beard. All right, down the front of his robe, I'm gonna go dark with this cloud cover. And then for the other part of his robe, let me see, did I do this? Yes. I'm using the light, and then all I'm doing is following along the lines of the artwork here, just adding a stroke of color. I'm not going to color it in. I'm just outlining it. And I think for the minimalist look, I think that goes well with the artwork. And plus it makes it easy if you're going to do several of these that you don't have to color them all in. yet it still looks colored in, if that makes sense. I should have colored in that staff. I'll do that in just a minute. And then for Mary's part, I think let me see. I think the Tammy said she used Petal Pink, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm doing the dark one. And again, I'm just going over the lines of the artwork. Let me get this. Oh, I better use the bullet tip for this staff here. Here we go. And so you can see that even by not even coloring it all in, it still looks very colored in, if that makes any sense. And I think that I really like that look. All right, so let's don't forget about the lamb here. So I'm gonna go with dark cloud cover and do the same thing for this little lammy guy. Maybe I should use the bullet tip. I almost got distracted because I was walking by the front of our building just right before class started. And there's this huge rainbow. Did any of you guys see that? Again, just outlining it, and that's all that needs. All right, I think we are ready to assemble the front here. Let me see, do I have some dimensionals? Yes, I do. So, turn it over and start adding dimensionals around my die cut. And I'm not going to put any along this side here. I'm going to leave a little bit of room because we need to slip that little, the little lamb into place. All right, that'll be good. You know, I like making all different kinds of Christmas cards. I was talking with Cindy, my friend Cindy, just the other day about it, you know, and we were talking about not feeling the need anymore to make, 75 of the same card. You know, you can make 10 of one design and 10 of another, and then you don't get burned out so much creating your cards. Now, I know some of you out there, you make tons and tons. But, after like about 10, I get a little tired of making the same card. But my personal ones that I like to send out, usually usually have a nativity scene or, whatever the Jesus one of the current catalog is. So I'm going to slip this in here. There we go. And now we can put this whole thing onto our card base. Don't let me forget the bling. I was going to say we're done, but we've got one little bling to add on that star of... All right. I made one of these over the weekend and I got all the way done. And then I dropped the Memento ink pad on top of it. So it had a smudge. Look at that. There we go. Let me get my little bling here. This is the Petal Pink. Those artistic people now make sense because we use Petal Pink on her gown. And now we're putting the Petal Pink on that star there. But it really does look gold and yellow once we put this on here. So one little bling right there to finish our card. And so there is a very lovely, interesting wow card for you to make as one of your Christmas card designs this year, if you have this A Child is Born set. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of it? Do you like this idea? And it's just cool knowing that you can do two of these and piece them together, and it makes an interesting card base. So even if you weren't doing Christmas, I'm sure you could come up with another idea of how to use this shape for a card base. Well, oh, and this is a standalone stamp set that has no corresponding dies. So anyway, I thought it was a really cool way to dress up this stamp set, die cutting, with the fun little background and then fussy cutting out the shapes. Anyway, I like this card a lot, and I hope you do too. And I do appreciate you being here. And I had class this past weekend, and I still have not cleaned up. I cleaned up in the big area where we were, but my office is still a mess. And so I'm gonna probably be spending the rest of the week putting things away. But we sure had fun and we sure laughed. And my next class will be November 22nd. Hold on. Yes. November 22nd, Saturday, November 22nd. That's the weekend before Thanksgiving. We'll make 4 great cards and we'll have a lot of fun laughing and crafting together. So if you're interested in coming to class, let me know. I'll add your name to the sign-up sheet. And I'll be posting about that probably closer to the end of the week. All right, well, that's it. I'll stop blabbering. Thanks for being here. Now it's your turn to make a card and send it to somebody you love. Thanks for being here, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.